In our last lecture, the body systems. When you take the AP1 and AP2, these two classes, we're going to use 2 semesters to talk about the detail of those 11 different body systems. So here we briefly talk about those 11 body systems name and their components and basic function. The first one is integumentary system. The main component is your skin. Your skin is not just a piece of paper. It weighs about 4 kilograms and is 2 meter by 2 meters square. So a lot of structures exist in your skin. Also include those hair, nails, sweat glands, oil glands, memory glands. Memory gland is a specialized sweat gland produce milk. The ceruminous gland is a specialized sweat gland. It produces earwax. So all these are the components of the integumentary system. Integumentary system has a lot of functions. The first one is defend you from pathogen. You find people have skin damage. They worry about infection because bacteria, pathogens can directly go into your body. So the first function is defend. And also your skin regulate your body temperature because sweat, you have sweat glands in your integumentary system, actually inside your skin. So when they sweat, sweat is mainly water. So when the water go to the surface of your skin, when it turn into vapor, you have to break down the hydrogen bond between those water, and it bring your body temperature, the heat away. That's how the sweating cool you down. And also your integumentary system, your skin is a big sensory organ. You have a lot of sensors on your skin. They feel touch, pressure, temperature. Also, you have the cold and warm, 2 different temperatures sensor, and the pain sensor. So your skin is also interact with the body sensation. And your skin help you to produce vitamin D3. It comes from sunlight. So the sunlight will trigger the skin produce vitamin D. And vitamin D3 has more and more functions being identified recently. We find in our body, we have the vitamin D receptor. They tell you vitamin D is not just a vitamin. Some scientists believe it's a hormone. So you need to have vitamin D in your body. And integumentary system also prevent water loss. The outer layer of the skin, when you take AP1, you will learn that the outer layer of skins, they are actually made of dead cells. And those dead cells inside the water being replaced by keratin. Keratin is a protein, but structurally it's more like a wax. So functionally it's more like a wax. It can prevent water loss. That's why we can go to deserts and live in the very dry area. It's not pleasant, but we can handle it. Some animals like amphibians, they actually could not handle it because if you bring a frog to a desert, they will get dehydrated and die. So our skin allow us to prevent water loss. Okay, next one, skeletal system. Skeletal system made of bones, cartilage. Cartilage are soft bones. Joints are between bone and bone. We call them joint. And ligaments. Ligaments, sometimes I call them duct tape. Their job is to tape a joint to another joint. And that's ligaments. They're made of connective tissue. So their function is connect those bone together. So these are the skeletal system. And skeletal systems, first function is support your body. If you don't have bones, you will look like a meatball. So that's the skeletal system, their main function. Also, they protect important organs, like your thoracic cage and your cranial cage, cranial cavity. They protect your brain. They are made of bones. And thoracic cage made of ribs, sternums, and they protect your important organs in your chest. Also, your skeletal system is a container for calcium and phosphorus. They store salt. So inside your bone, you have those bone cavity, and then you have bone marrow. And outside these bones are made of salt, and the main salt made of the bone is calcium phosphate. So if you lose calcium, your bone won't be healthy. That's because that's the main component of the bone matrix. Okay, and the bone marrow, there are two kinds of bone marrow. That's the inside part. One is called yellow bone marrow. It's mainly made of fat. So when you Google bone marrow, you will find a lot of recipes. Some people love bone marrow. They smells good because they are mainly fat. That's the yellow bone marrow. Another kind of bone marrow is called the red bone marrow. They are red because they have a lot of red blood cell. So red bone marrow is where the blood cell synthesis happens. They will produce blood cells, not just red blood cell, also white blood cell and platelet. But red blood cell has color, it's red. So it makes the red bone marrow look red. Okay, and skeletal systems, they are also attachment point for muscular system. So muscular system include those muscles. And on the skeletal system, there are a lot of structures. They're actually attachment points for muscle. So when the muscle contract, the muscle really gets shorter. It gets shorter, physically gets shorter. So when it gets shorter, it can bring a bone closer to another bone. And that's how they create the movement. So it worked together, skeletal system work together with the muscular system to create the movement. Next system, muscular system. This system is made of muscles. And muscles' main function is to produce movement. We have three kinds of muscles. Skeletal muscle, that's the one you can voluntarily control. Smooth muscle, you cannot control. Voluntary control, that's in your inner organ. And cardiac muscle, that's the muscle in your heart. Totally three kinds of muscles. And you can only control the skeletal muscle. And you also have a lot of skeletal muscle. They contract. So when they contract, they create movement because muscles attach to bones. So when they contract, they can bring one bone closer to the other bone. And also when the muscle contract, it creates movement, and byproduct is heat. It's like you run your car, it moves, but also it produces heat. So when you're cold, your muscles start to shiver because it contract and produce those heat, and heat can increase your body temperature. So it's part of the body temperature homeostasis function. Okay, next one, nervous system. Nervous system is a big system, include your brain, spinal cord, nerves, and ganglia. So the brain and spinal cord, we call them central nervous system. They're in your central part, and they are well protected by your skull and your vertebra. And the peripheral nervous system includes the nerves and the ganglia. They are peripheral nervous system. And the nervous system is big, is huge. Once you see food, water, and you decide you want to go to grab the food, okay, from that moment on, the sensory neurons will send information in, and you have the integrating neuron in your CNS, in your central nervous system. And you also have the motor neuron to control skeletal muscle until they reach muscle. All these are nervous system. So nervous system is a big, big system. And also your five senses, they're part of the peripheral nervous system. They pick up the stimulus from the outside world. So they are part of the nervous system. It's a big, big system. And also the nervous system control everything not under your voluntary control. We have the autonomic nervous system. They can control your pupil dilate, pupil constrict, control your saliva, control your heart rate, control your breathing rate when you exercise, exercising, control your digestive system, control everything not under your voluntary control. And it's called the autonomic nervous system, can be divided into the sympathetic and parasympathetic. So nervous systems responsible for pretty much everything, control your whole body, and also your consciousness, your intelligence, your memory is all in your nervous system. Okay, next one, the endocrine system. Endocrine systems are made of organs. If the organ can produce hormones and hormones released to the blood, we call this endocrine organ. So from your brain, in your CNS, even your heart, when you take AB2, you will learn that heart is also endocrine organ. The adrenal glands, that's the glands superior to your kidney, and also your kidney and a lot of digestive organs. And then the gonads, the ovaries, testes, they're all endocrine systems because they all produce hormones. So endocrine systems secrete hormones, and the hormones, they will be carried by blood. So it will go through your whole body. It's a long distance communication system, endocrine system is. Your body have two long distance communication systems. One is the nervous system, like you can move your finger. That's the long distance communication. And the second one is the endocrine system. They release hormone. And when the hormones go to the blood, they go to your whole body. So it's a long distance communication system. So it also regulates a lot of things. You grow, your chemical level, like blood sugar level, salt level, reproduction, sex hormones. They control a lot of things. The next one is called the cardiovascular system. It includes your blood, your heart, and blood vessel. So cardiovascular system, their function is to transport oxygen, CO2, gas molecule, nutrients, blood sugar, that's in your blood, and also hormones, they can be transported by your blood. And your heart is the pump, so you're gonna pump, push the blood to keep going. And the blood vessels are the pipe, help the blood flow inside. Blood is a liquid. And when you digest nutrients, sugar after digest, they produce ATP. We talk about cellular respiration. And then byproduct CO2, water, will be carried by blood. And when you have fat, okay, well, after they've been digested, you have to do CO2 and water, still being carried by blood. And proteins, when you digest proteins, they produce more stuff, CO2, water, and so urea, uric acid, and the salt. They will be carried by blood, and urea, uric acid, they can be secreted out from the renal system, but they need to be carried by your blood. So still cardiovascular system's job. And cardiovascular system also help you to defend against pathogen and toxogen. So that's the white blood cell function. And also white blood cells also belong to the next system. It's called the lymphatic system. So you have lymphocyte. That's one kind of white blood cell. The lymphatic system defend your body. That's your defense systems. They fight pathogens. And they also have lymphatic vessel, similar to the vein system, the blood vessel, part of the blood vessel, like the vein system. But the liquid flow inside the lymphatic system is called lymph, L-Y-M-P-H. It's not called the blood. So you also have liquid flow inside. And inside those lymphatic vessels, you also have lymphocyte. Lymphocytes are one kind of white blood cell. And therefore immune function, like they will produce antibody and they will be able to defend the pathogens. You have the T lymphocytes, B lymphocyte. And some lymphatic organs are your first line of defense, like the tonsils. They are in your mouth. They can help you to fight the pathogen. So once they found the pathogen in your mouth, they will produce more soldier. That's when the tonsil swollen. Okay, let's stop here.